Hi and welcome to another episode of Roettgen Braai Master. Today we're making a whole goose on the rotisserie with apple flavored red cabbage and dumplings. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now we need some onions, we need some apples, salt and pepper, some butcher's twine, a few toothpicks, we need some mugwort, we need a pepper symphony, as well as marjoram, we need red cabbage, some fond and the dumplings, and obviously the star of today's show. Now this is a 4.4 kg German goose, and that should serve nicely for 4 adults and about 2 children. In the first step we're going to chop up the apples and make sure that you keep a little bit of apple aside for the red cabbage. Obviously they're washed, they're clean, and we're going to take out the seeds, and then we're just going to cut them into small little chunks and put them in a bowl, and then we'll mix them with the seasonings. Now, as both the apples and the onions are only there for flavor purposes, so you don't have to worry about cutting it too thinly or to do anything special with it, as obviously we're not going to eat it later on. So a few rough chunks will absolutely suffice. Now that we're done chopping the onions and the apples, we're going to season them. So the marjoram goes in, and be quite liberal about it because obviously it's a big bird, it can take a lot of seasoning. The mugwort, as well as the pepper symphony. And then we give that a good mix. Now onto our bird. So what we're going to do first is we're going to apply some salt to the inside. And again, be liberal about it because that bird can take a lot of salt. Just make sure that you get it on all sides. And obviously that's rather tricky when you're by yourself. So I do recommend, if you do it yourself, try to get somebody to help you. When you're done salting, what you're going to do next is you're going to take your apple onion mix and you just fill the cavity with it. Obviously make sure that you've washed the bird prior, patted it dry, as well as removed anything that may still be inside, liver, lungs, anything that the bird came with. But usually if you buy it from a good supplier, they put a little package inside for you where all the innards are already separated. Now I'm not a big innards fan, and neither is my family, so yeah, you can use it to make stock, sauces, yeah, really anything you want, but we're not going to do that today. And as you can tell, 3 onions and 3 apples is a good size or a good amount to really stuff the cavity of that bird. Now it's obviously time to close the cavity, and what I recommend you do is you use a toothpick, and what you want to do is you're going to prick the skin on one side. Just be careful not to break your toothpick. Sometimes it happens. Well, take a new one. And then we're just going to go all along the opening here and then use the butcher's twine to close it up. Alright, well I'm going to do that now and I'll show you the finished result in just a second. All trussed up, and I'm quite happy with my handiwork, and what we're going to do now is we're going to salt and pepper the goose from the outside. I've already tied down the wings because obviously I don't want them flopping about when they're on our rotisserie, and we're going to use salt and pepper on the outside now on all sides, and then we're almost ready to barbecue. Now the bird is on, and we're going to turn on the back burner, and we're going to start the rotisserie. Now after half an hour I'm going to prick the skin a little bit so that the fat can render down, and I've put in a drip pan with a little bit of water, and I'm estimating about 3.5 hours until we're ready to eat. Roughly 2 hours later, and we're sitting at 70 degrees in the breast, and it's starting to smell really nice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move the thermometer into the thigh, and then we're looking to reach 85 internal, and we're going to crank up the heat to about 220. Exactly 3 hours later, and we are done, and I think that looks absolutely fantastic. So we're going to take it off now, I'm going to carve it up, and I'm going to show you the final plate. Alright guys, and there you have it, our goose from the rotisserie with apple flavored red cabbage and the dumpling. Now we're going to dig in. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and yeah, please join me at Roettgen Braai Master.